Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm glad to be here. This is not actually my first presentation with the ISIC. It's my second time participating in such events. The first time I participated in Agadir in Morocco. So this is a fantastic opportunity again to meet again with new presenters and explore new ideas. My presentation today is about it's titled towards inclusive learning spaces, unraveling teacher student dynamics in Moroccan high school. So I'm a PhD researcher in my second year, and I have been also I am an English high school teacher, and I have been teaching for like 19 years now. So this is, as you are going to find out in my methodology section, this is a bit of quality. This is absolutely qualitative research, but it's also it has a kind of also ethnographic feel to it. So I'm going to get involved in this research more than the usual. So, okay. Yes. Now, the value of education in shaping a nation's future cannot be overstated. Yes, this has been stated by the UN, by every other agency in the world, and we know that education works. When you educate a nation, it becomes more. How can I say this one? It becomes more immune to crises and also less politically unstable and more economically more prosperous. However, in Morocco, the current state of education is complex to say the least. So, for example, even the state spends like 25% of its budgets on education and higher education as well. The nation still suffers from setbacks, lots of setbacks and lots of drawbacks, and I think for the most part of Morocco's history, from the independence in 1956 until today, we hear as Moroccans. By the way, I am a Moroccan, and we keep hearing about these reforms, educational reforms, and in every government and every policy related to education, it's all about reforms and it's all about making education better. So for the last 50 plus or 60 plus years, Morocco has been struggling with reforming its educational sector. However, as the numbers show, for example, things are not really going very well for it. So, according to a recent survey conducted by the Arab Barometer Network, only a quarter of Moroccans are satisfied with the education system. In fact, this is a significant decrease because in 2016 that number was 43%. So it's less than 15% of the population, which is uh, not 15%. It's less than 25% of the population, which is satisfied with the education in Morocco. On a global scale, Morocco ranks 154th out of 195 countries. So according to the World Education Index. Now, my presentation, it's the usual format. It's introduction, literature review, methodology, findings, and then discussion. So Moroccan education is faced with lots of problems, but for me as a teacher, one of the main issues we have with education is no matter how the budget increases and no matter how new pedagogical materials come in and are implemented, we are always faced with a structural issue, which is that the educational infrastructure in Morocco is not sufficient enough to offer adequate education for the whole population. For example, uh, most classrooms in Morocco, at least in high school, are overcrowded, with sometimes numbers reaching nearly 50 students, in some cases even 55 students. In fact, I have taught in a class with 56 students, and it wasn't absolutely teaching. It was just kindergartening and taking care of adults and trying to keep them safe. That's all. So This research aims to delve into the dynamics between Moroccan teachers and students within the context of promoting students' agency in high school classrooms. So the whole idea of this research is to find out how to increase students' agency and what are some measures that can be taken in order to promote empowerment and agency in students. Because as we know, students who are capable to fend for themselves and who are capable to go ahead in life and take new challenges and have the confidence to delve into new topics and have a critical mindset will do definitely better in life. However, most students in public schools do lack the agency or the adequate tools to face life. So the study seeks to shed light on the complex nature of teacher-student relationship in Moroccan high schools and explore strategies, especially within the framework of UDL, Universal Design for Learning. So the literature review. From reading all the recent, not all, but most of the index articles, the highly ranked articles that were published in from 2020 to 2024, most of the research seems to be geared towards pedagogy and towards educators, but very few articles seem to focus on students and more precisely on the issue of increasing students' agency and how to solve powerless students in a world that requires empowerment, in a world that requires students to face life challenges and to be ready to adapt in a world that requires adaptability, in fact. So the methodology. The study employs a qualitative experience-centered narrative approach and an ethnographic design. So why choosing this qualitative experience-centered narrative approach? Simply because there are definitely numerous tools and numerous instruments that can be used to measure students' agency. And here I'm talking about quantitative tools. But the idea is that most often quantitative instruments do not really tell the whole story. We need to delve deeper into the feelings and emotions and how our students are perceiving their education and how are they facing life with the education we gave them. So the narrative approach allows for a deeper exploration of the collective experiences and life-changing events that the participants experience during their educational journey. Now, for the findings and implications. So the data collected paints a rather a complex picture of the current state of Moroccan classrooms and education in general. However, it also highlights fantastic opportunities and challenges for the implementation of UDL as follows. So these are the most important findings and the most prevalent themes that this qualitative research uncovered. So the first one is teacher-centered education. And here, this is by far the most prevalent theme, as I'm going to discuss later in this picture. So here, this is a picture of my classroom. This is where I teach. I kid you not, this is one of the best and most finest classrooms you can have in Morocco right now in public education. It has a good board with you can write with a pencil mark, and it has a nice chair, as you can see in the background. It has fake leather, and it's quite comfortable. However, there is something that doesn't change whenever you go to a Moroccan classroom, a high school class. Most often you are going to find rows of tables set like this and students facing the whiteboard. That's the ideal situation for a Moroccan class, or the ideal design, so to speak, because in Morocco we have the perception that if the teacher, and as I explain in the article of this presentation, if the teacher allows students to be creative and make noise and fend for themselves in order to find the right way and the right mindset to learn, they are perceived by the administration and also by their colleagues as being a weak teacher, as being unable to control their class. So the idea of the team I have uncovered, or so to speak, I have tried to discuss in my paper, is that teachers are afraid to look weak in front of their colleagues and in front of the administration. Yes, UDL techniques work. Their principles of involving students, of finding the right approach, that every student is different. They work. They are fantastic. And I myself have tried to implement some bits and pieces of UDL mantras in my teaching. However, as teachers, we are faced uh, with this with this social convention that for a teacher you have to be in control of your class. That for a teacher you have to stand your ground and not allow students to laugh and not allow students to talk in your classroom unless they are permitted to. So the for example, this is also a class. By the way, I have taken the consent from the administration to take this picture as long as the students' faces are not revealed. So as you can see, students are again facing the whiteboard, and they are not allowed free movement in class. In fact, they are mere sometimes they are mere objects. They sit there and they wait for the right opportunity to make noise or just to leave, and that's it. Now, the next theme I have found through my investigation and my research is lack of extracurricular activities. So in Morocco, most schools, in fact, all of public schools, they lack funding, and they require so many hassles in order to take students outside the class and to, for example, into field trips and to give them a taste of life and to show them what they are learning is important for them and why it's important for them and how they can use the information. For example, I'm going to give you an anecdote from my class. I know an American foreign aid worker. She works with USAID, and she was working in the town I was teaching in. And I wanted to invite her for my students to ask her and share ideas with her, and her telling them about the United States and what opportunities lies behind them by learning English and other things. And the administration simply refused. I was told by the headmaster that, well, this is a foreigner. She does not work in this school. She is not a member of the staff, nor a parent of a student, and thus we cannot allow her. If you would like to bring her in, you have to contact the regional administration, which is, for example, not for example, which is like 60 kilometers away from where I work. And it takes like because in Morocco you have to get everything in a written form. You cannot trust WhatsApp and other messaging apps because they are not official. So if you would like to get her into the class, you have to get an official approval, and it's going to take a long time, and you are not going to get it anyway. So this is just to give you some idea about the challenges teachers are faced with. And the next theme is that French is king. And here I'm speaking about the French language. French is king or queen. So the French language, although Morocco is trying to implement new theories on teaching mother tongues and helping learners from a young age acquire a diverse array of foreign languages to help them. But still, the French language is highly dominant in Morocco. And for rural students and rural communities, as I work with, as the ones I work with, it's very difficult for them to acquire this language because simply their parents do not speak it. And and sometimes they find themselves learning maths and geometry, for example, hard sciences like physics, chemistry, using the French language. They can't even grasp some terms and some ideas, meanings of the French language, let alone understand mathematics in French. So this has been really frustrating for us teachers and students as well. Now, this is something. This is I cannot say that this is a vicious circle, but this is rather the most classes are can be reduced to this diagram. So we start with an overcrowded class, which, for example, for lack of attention by the teacher, uh, produces bored students who misbehave in class, who need to be reprimanded by their teachers, and thus we have a reduction in creativity and participation and critical thinking as well. So the conclusion. Uh, so implementation of UDL in Morocco is a complex thing. However, it can be done. There are challenges, and at the same time, there are opportunities. But from my experience as a teacher, one of the biggest challenges is the overcrowdedness of the classroom. We are working with in classes of at least 30, if not 40 or 50 students. And this tends to pose a grave challenge to applying not just UDL, but any other approach to teaching and learning. And thank you so much.